Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Carl here, and this is actually my first live stream with Facebook, so this is pretty cool. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a little sick right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, or teach you rather, how to invest properly. So, one of the most important things that you need to realize about investing is that it's not what everybody cracks it out to be, because when I was struggling a long time ago trying to figure out like how I'm going to make money and stuff like that, it took a lot of research for me to actually figure it out. And what I came across was something pretty amazing, actually. Throughout a lot of books that I read, there was a few things that stuck and a lot of things that didn't. But the most important thing with stock market investing, or just investing in general, is understanding a very basic concept. And it all comes down to one thing. If I give you $5, then I want $5 back, and you're going to get, or you're going to pay interest on that. So that's all it is. So the stock market is no different than loaning people money, for example. So what you do in the stock market is you buy a share of the company, okay? And then the company is going to recognize that you have contributed money to their fund, or however you want to look at it, to their business. And then what happens is the money is going to appreciate, and it's going to go up and down. But over the long term, stock marketing, I mean, since like 1900s or even before that, during like steel manufacturing age and stuff like that, stocks have always appreciated. So keeping things really simple, that's like the point of this whole thing, is just keeping things completely simple. All right? When you give the company money, they are going to recognize that you have contributed to the stock market fund or the business fund, and then the stock appreciates. And this is the best part, is they're going to pay you a dividend. All right, I don't know how familiar you are with dividends, but dividends are super duper simple. Super simple, okay? Think of it as a 9 to 5 paycheck. What they do is the company, the stock's appreciating, it's going up and down, it's doing its thing. You don't worry about that. All you do is continually invest in lots of different companies. And what happens is it will pay you a dividend every 3 months. Usually it's quarterly. And that's awesome. So once you understand that the company pays you dividends, you're perfect. You're set. You're pretty much set for life. Because as long as you're investing in the stock market, you can't lose. I've been investing, I think, probably for three years now. No, probably 2 years. So I don't have a super amount of experience, but what I have seen is my portfolio has just increased dramatically. So stock market investing, I'm going to be doing it for the rest of my life. It's a no-brainer. I have a few notes here on my notepad, just things I want to touch up on. And again, a lot of people are spinning their wheels. They're working a 9 to 5 job and they're sick of it and stuff like that. And one of the things that kept me going after I discovered how the stock market works was that now I don't have to count on my 9 to 5 anymore. I know in my head that I'm investing consistently in the stock market, and I'm getting all these returns. I'm getting money. In addition, my stock is appreciating. And I'm trying to keep this like super duper simple, but the thing you gotta do is you just keep investing simply into any business in the stock market, and it gives you a return. And you're probably thinking, okay, so how do I find stocks, right? Like that's like the big no-brainer, or excuse me, that's like the big question. And I'm here to tell you it is super simple. There's a website called dividend.com, and at dividend.com you can go there and you can see all of these best ranked stocks, like your familiar AT&T, your Target, your Walmart, like the list goes on, and this thing is constantly being updated. All right, I actually have a subscription, so I get to like do like some fancy stuff, but the thing I've learned is that, wow, I can make money from these companies. No wonder the rich are getting richer, the whole thing you've heard before. And thanks, Kevin. This is awesome, everybody that's on right now. This is my first time on live, by the way. So I'm actually as nervous as I am right now as when I perform on stage live. This is actually really nervous, even though I can't see your faces. But it's all good. I really feel like the reason a lot of people are greedy, like with their money and stuff like that, is because they're afraid to tell you about how they're making money and stuff like that. And I've read tons of books, and I can confidently say that the stock market is the way to go. Please get capitalism out of your head and all that stuff, because it is not. Hey, what's up, Paul? Me and Paul were just talking about this today. I was trying to explain. It was because of Paul, it was because of Paul. Now I'm doing this Facebook Live thing. We were talking about it at work today, but yeah. So not everybody is going to pick up this concept as quickly, as I did, but it's totally doable. And as far as opening up a brokerage account, that's what this is. It's called a brokerage account, money market account. You can think of it as the same thing as a checking account, only this is it's like a market. And in this market, all these stocks are just moving up and down. And what scares people and why they sell all their stocks and stuff, I love you too, Chelsea. The reason why all of these people are freaking out, selling their stocks and stuff like that, like a panic and, like depression, like Great Recession, world wars, the point I'm trying to drive home here is you never sell the stock. Don't sell it. Because if you're in the habit of consistently investing, even when the economy is down, the stock's going to go down, but it's not going to go down to zero. Not every company's going to go bankrupt in the Great Depression. I did a lot of research and I was looking at it and I was like, okay, now it's just a game to me. I'm not a master, but I'm pretty experienced now, and what I do is for fun, I just look at companies that are like, hey, which company is going to last? Like, which companies are going to last the test of time, and then do they pay a dividend? That's all. I usually never invest in a stock unless it pays me a dividend. Never, ever, ever. Because if it doesn't pay a dividend, it's no income to me. Why do I care? It's just speculating. So that's one of the reasons why I stuck with this. If there was no dividend involved, I would have quit investing in stocks a long time ago. But the fact remains that I'm making quite a bit of money from the stock market, and I can be transparent with you. I'm not afraid to say this, but I probably make about $100 every single month just from stocks alone. And that's just a small picture. The big picture is I have a portfolio of stocks that actually are in the thousands. Like, I always feel uncomfortable explaining exactly how much I have, just because I don't think we all want to tell everybody how much money we have. But just so you know, there's two things going on right now. You have the stock, which is all this money that you put into, right? Like, it's like a bowl of money. But then every month, every 3 months or so, and sometimes monthly, the company will pay you a dividend of like 50 cents times the number of shares that you own. So that number, that principal, is always going up and down, right? But it doesn't like vary as drastically as we think. It's not like you're going to lose it in the Forex market, which is currency trading. But it sits there and it grows over time. So it does this thing. But I'm looking at it right now, since the 1800s, stocks have gone up, and they're going to continue to go up. And I would not flip about like some economic boom or bust or anything like that, because I called my bank the other day, and when I was talking to him, I was just being all sorts of fearful, and I called him and I was like, hey, if I have $1 million in my brokerage account and I lose all that money, right, like to an economic downturn, what happens? Well, there's two things that go on, and we don't care if the bank goes under. We don't care because there's something called, I think it's SIPC. It's just a protection, just like the FDIC when your banks are all gone and the government bails them out. So what happens there is, no matter what you have in the principal, and no matter how much cash you have, I think it was like 250,000 or something like that per bank. So what you do is you diversify. That's the whole like point of this, is diversify. Like, you'll put money in Bitcoins, you'll put money into the stock market, you'll put money into CDs. It never ends. It just never freaking ends, because it's all about diversify. Invest in foreign stocks. So what happens is your bank goes under, right? But all that money that you had, you won't lose it, because as long as the United States is still good, and I think it's gonna stay good. Like, if anyone's gonna freak out, it's me. I always freak out about everything. But what happens is it just goes to another bank. So the bank goes under, but your money's still there, and it just goes to another bank. So whatever bank you're with, another bank will pick you up, and it goes to that bank, and now you're with them. So it's pretty cool. Hell yeah, Michael, good stuff, man. Gotta run. Cool, cool. Yeah, this is good. Again, this is my first live session, um, so I'm probably gonna do this a lot more now that I see it's giving me the adrenaline rush that I get when I'm like on stage and stuff like that. I'm actually really nervous right now, but don't be afraid, Carl. I'm talking to myself. So again, finding the stocks is really super easy, and once you get a few stocks going, like the big companies, and I said dividend.com, that's the one that I go to, and it tells me the list of all the stocks, and I grab those and I invest lots and lots of shares in them, and it keeps me happy. Like, it's a fat bank account, and I absolutely love it. It's great. So now that I've already had my portfolio of stocks, I'm using dividend.com to figure out like what other stocks I use that as a ground to always go to dividend.com to find these the steady ones that have been steadily paying dividends over the course of like hundreds of years. Excuse me. Like over hundreds of years, stocks have been paying these dividends, and dividend.com records that. That's why I use them as a benchmark. But now that I'm more advanced with finding companies that strictly pay dividends, I look for companies that are out of the ordinary now. I look at stocks. Did you know that corn, like that you eat corn and cattle, if you're against animals and stuff like that, like in whatever, there's ethical things, right? You want to be ethical about it. But you can find anything you can think of, GoPro, all the things you use on a regular basis that you believe are going to be here for a long time. Why aren't you investing in them? So that's like one of the things. I just don't want it to scare you, because it's not scary at all. It's super duper straightforward. If I give you the company GoPro, if I give you $5, you can go as little as $5. If I give you $5 GoPro, I expect to get some kind of income from that. It would be silly if you never got any income from a stock. It's right, because now you're just speculating. You don't know if it's going to go up or down, and that's what scares most people. So I'm here to tell you, don't be scared if you use this method that I'm sharing with you. Again, all the books that I've read talk about quitting your 9-to-5 job. I don't know how many of you are actually reading like books like that, but I get it all the time. Quit your 9-to-5 job, start a company or whatever. That's all great. But I still think you should keep one foot in reality, and that you should stay with your job. And every time you get paid from your job, the first thing that you should do, the very first thing you do before you ever pay your bills, is you should invest your money in something like the stock market. It's called paying yourself, or pay it, or buy more Bitcoin, which is also like a stock market where it fluctuates, and loan people money on sites like Lending Club, and then you can, what else is there? I'll just give it to you all right now. Let's see here. So I have like lots of different businesses that I do, but let's see here. What do I do? I buy lots of stocks, and then I look for bonds. I lend money out, and what else do I do? I really wish I could think of more things I do right now, but the main thing I'm focusing on right now is stocks that pay dividends. And so you want to consistently invest. You don't want to not invest, and then you don't want to sell your stocks. It's okay to trim the stocks, meaning like buy back more shares and stuff like that. Which brings me to another really good point that should take away the scariness out of the whole stock market investing. I miss you too, Brittany. When are we going to that island next to Florida? So, okay, so the brokerage account, right? You put money inside the brokerage account, and you can take money out of that brokerage account at any time. All it is you're selling the shares, and that's it. So where's the risk? There is not as much risk as if you can never pull the money out. Like, people put money in those IRAs, in those Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, 401ks. Those things are very scary. Not scary, they have higher interest rates, but you can't pull the money out like in a stock market as quickly and as easily when you want it. Because you and me, we have bills every month that we need to pay. That's the whole reason that we're doing, that's the whole reason we're investing, and that we want dividends, because we have bills every month and we need money. So definitely go ahead and pull money out anytime you need it from a stock market. And that's the beauty of it, is you have all this money that's just growing like rapidly, And it's just amazing. Like you've heard of the compound effect, right? Or compound interest. It's the same exact thing. Only I choose to pull out money anytime I want. It's just, and then so what I do is I have multiple brokerage accounts, lots of different stock market accounts, right? You can look at it like a checking account. And all those different checking accounts or brokerage accounts are giving me money. But then some of them I continue to reinvest the dividends, which is all it is just a checkbox. It's just a checkbox that says you can reinvest the dividends, and that's the one that you don't rely on every month for your income. So for those of you that are just joining right now, I just want to say, like, some of the things that are probably on your mind right now are, Carl, is this fake? Like, let's just be real. And I'm about the realest person you're going to meet. I'm down to earth, and I'm here to tell you that if you're not investing in the stock market, you're screwing up. Not like to that extent, but the point is you can rely on this source of income as another multiple stream of income when you invest in the stock market. How did I first hear about the stock market? When I first heard about the stock market or dividend investing, I was just researching. I was looking around. I'm always trying to find different ways to make more money, and I'm tired of it. I hate working for other people. I hate dealing with people, but it's still something that we need to learn, that face-to-face connection of working with other people. However, I like my alone time sometimes, and I like to rely on my investing, and that's seriously how the rich get richer. I'm going to answer one of these questions, Brittany. I invest through my 401k. Is that different? So with the 401k, it's like the same thing, all right? It's kind of the same thing as like your 401k is, it's like a brokerage account that your employer, usually it's an employer related thing, versus your IRA and your money market accounts, brokerage accounts. Those are your personal things, like if you never worked for somebody. So, check out to see if it frowns. Okay, so the 401k is good. Don't like get rid of that. That's totally fine. The problem that most people have is they don't invest enough. Like they get that first paycheck and they blow it. So what you want to do, Brittany, probably with your 401k is see if you can go in there and buy stock. That's what you want to do. Go to dividend.com and find, like, it's called under the tab, I think it's called the best, I don't have it pulled up, like the best dividend stocks, and it'll tell you, all you gotta do is pick the best one, or the top one, any one of those. The point is get started. But yeah, what you do is in your 401k, I don't personally have a 401k, however, I get the idea, and all the 401k is if you leave that job, the 401k will go to your next job, it'll go to your next job, to your next job, and your employer will usually match whatever it is that you put. So like they'll match you sometimes 3-to-1. Like you pay $1, they'll give you $3. But I would look to see if you can buy stock, because all that's great, but you want to buy stock from these huge companies that are paying dividends. So the site is called dividend.com. Dividend is dividend.com, and I'll just pull it up really quick right now. So I'm going to dividend.com. Once you get there, if that cough is annoying you, I'm sorry. Okay, so then you go to best dividend stocks. Once you're on best dividend stocks, I don't know how many you can see, but I'm a subscribed member, which I pay like $100 and something a year. What I do, okay, so once I'm here, yeah, I've heard of the app Stash. That's a good one. Do all those. Yep, that one, dividend.com. Once you're on, and I'm going to bring up another app that I think you should download for sure, 2 of them. But once you're at dividend.com, go and look through, I think there's like 5 of them. If you're unsubscribed, you'll see 5 of them. And just go in there and just, I don't want to say take action and do it without you doing your homework. Make sure you're feeling me and make sure like you're comfortable. And I just want to tell you it's super simple. That's what I love to do. I like to keep things super simple. I hate when people make things difficult, and that's what it is. I have it, but I have no idea what to do. Okay, so for Stash, I don't think I have it downloaded, but I haven't looked at it because I prefer another app that I personally found more interesting. But I think what Stash does is they probably are going to buy stocks for you, and that's totally cool. The whole point of this diversification idea is that we're living in a different era now, where it's called automatic investing. What you want to do is you never want to physically go in there and hit send funds these days. Or you just want to have everything automatically transferred. You don't even want to touch it. As soon as it hits your bank account, you want it to go without you seeing it. That's the secret. And so another app I'm going to recommend is called Acorns. Acorns. Acorns app. When you go in there, what they do is you connect your bank account, and if you feel fearful at all about companies knowing like your information or syncing your checking account, I just want to say that first, I'm not liable, but look, I have this thing where you got to take risk in life, and it's a calculated risk. You want to do your homework, but Stash is no different than the Acorns app, where it just rounds up your transactions and to the nearest dollar, and then it automatically invests it. And my portfolio right now with Acorns is probably about like $300. And I haven't done anything. It automatically, any transaction that I buy, it automatically rounds it up and it sends it. It purchases stock. It allocates it like 90% stocks, 10% bonds, and it's great. I think that is like the first thing anybody should do so they understand like how the stock market works. And Acorns, the market will, you'll see it in there. It'll start growing at like an incredible rate, and you're like, this is cool. And it's always fun to say like I'm invested, right? That's always fun to say. But I think the more I do these Facebook Live things, the more I'm just going to keep sharing information about how you need to not only do investing where you're just focusing on the stock market. Stock market's my main source of like, that's like the big giant. Stock market is the giant of all this like whole operation for me. And that's where I got a huge account, and like I love it because it spits me dividends, and the account just keeps growing at a much better rate than the, I think it's like 8%. So that's growing all the while. It's spitting me dividends. And all right, so what is a good amount to start with? You know what? When I first started investing, I think a couple years ago, like for real, I started with like $20, and I was always fearful. Like I was afraid that it wasn't going to work out and stuff like that. But now my account is gigantic, and it really gave me a lot of assurance that no matter what people say, if they try to scare me to sell stock, like I'm not going to sell. But a good amount to start with is just whatever you can, you know. Like after a while, once you consistently invest $5, you know, you don't have to invest like hundreds of dollars at a time. I personally like to, but when I first started, it was like $5. Whatever the shares are, most shares are like in between $5 and a few $100s. That's like the range. And the dividends that they spit out per share are like anywhere between like 5 cents and sometimes $1. But you can see that if I own 5 shares of a company that's spitting out dollar dividends, that's $5 every 3 months I'm getting. Now let's stop. You're probably like, Carl, $5 every 3 months, that's it? You tell me how else you can make $5 every single month by doing nothing. That's like, I think where most people miss, and it just, you gotta stop thinking like huge amounts, and you gotta start thinking small transactions. I have other businesses that I do. I do Amazon. I work with Amazon where like I'm constantly purchasing. I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's a new thing I'm starting where I buy things at the grocery store that are low price, and I'll resell them on Amazon, and then I'll make a commission. Not a commission, but I'll get the difference. So what I'm saying is think small. You got to think small numbers, and that's definitely the big thing. Think small. So start with like $5 at a time, you know, and then a month you'll have what, $20 in there. 3 months you'll probably have $30, and then it'll keep compounding. So that's kind of the big thing. Matt Sergeant Johnson just got on. This is awesome. All right, now the stakes just went up a bit. So, all right, where do I start? So for people who have bigger bankrolls, all right, they're going to have a little bit of an advantage. People that have little cash flow, right, like they're only making like $100 every month after expenses, they're only going to be able to put that $100 into investing every month, which is what they should do, no matter how discouraging that may seem. If you can only afford $5 every month, $10, $15, do it, because it adds up, and then it starts spitting these dividends out, and you're like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just, it's, when I first realized dividend investing, I freaked out. I recalled the bank and I said, are you sure this is like, are you sure that this is what's going on? You're telling me that if I buy a share of a company, they're going to pay me for owning the share per like the number of shares that I have based on like the dividend price that they're giving? And I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh. In my head, I was on one track and I was like, so you're telling me all I need to do every time I get paid for my 9 to 5 is I just need to buy shares of stock and they're going to pay me? That right there was when the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh my goodness, what do I need to do? My whole purpose is work hard, get the money, put it in the stock market. Work hard, buy the best stocks in the stock market. Anytime I make money, even if it's $5, I'm telling you, I go and I buy stocks, quality stocks. Let's focus on quality stocks here. We don't want to buy cheap ones. Cheap is cheap. You want to buy quality stocks. Quality stocks is the name of the game. When you go to dividend.com, it has the list of all of the stocks that you can buy, and some of these you're going to be really familiar with, like Pepsi, Johnson & Johnson products, Kellogg, Coca-Cola, the big giants, but also there's little ones. There's little companies too that you never heard of, but they're doing well, but we never hear of them, right? You've got to do research, you got to look. What I do is I go to Google Finance. I go to Google Finance, and I'm an analytical person. I like to pull up the chart, right? I don't really always look at the financial statements, even though that's a good idea to get into, a good habit. You know, you want to figure out the health of a company, and then use your own intuition, put your spin on it, and try to think, okay, is this company going to last through a Great Depression? Heck yeah, you're welcome, Alex. This is awesome, man. I'm getting value out of this too. It's what it's all about. I think a lot of people are stingy, like with their money and stuff like that. And can I be honest with you? When I first realized dividend investing, I wanted to keep it a secret, and I could have easily gone down that route. I could have not shared it with anybody, and I could have just kept it to myself. And it took a lot. It took a lot of courage and a lot of research. And since I'm a marketing person, like I'm a marketing major at UNLV, I understand the importance of customer value. Give more and you receive more. And we're only here for a short time, right? Like, we're not going to live here forever. So why not share all this knowledge, like with people, and just give them the tools they need to succeed? I'm tired of seeing people hungry. I'm tired of seeing people poor because they don't understand. I don't know if it's the government. I don't want to blame it on the government, but they're not teaching this stuff in school, and I don't want to get all uproary about it like that. I'm a humble person. I understand steady, consistent investing in stocks, and we'll talk more about other different investments in a later time, like lending people money or investing in Bitcoin. Putting your money in these different places, 401k, like Brittany was saying, is totally fine. Your employer's going to match that. They're going to match that. That's fine. Let it do its thing. Let that stuff grow. When I left the Marine Corps, I think I did something called a thrift savings plan. And in the thrift savings plan, it was like I think it was just an interest rate that I was getting, but it was really good. And when I left, I had like $3,000. As soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, I took that $3,000 and I just transferred it over to an IRA. And the IRA there's two of them. It's called traditional IRA and Roth IRA. Don't get too crazy about which one is better. Just know that anything that is investment related is probably a good idea, and that you need to just put your eggs in a lot of different baskets and stuff like that. Let's see here, Brittany. Is this something that benefits you now or just the future? Okay, so there's something called speculating, and then there's something called I don't know what the other word is, but guessing versus I'm getting fixed income. I only go with investments that give me fixed income. I want things that are going to be giving me income right now, or like a month or 2 months. Like, I can count on it to give me money like a 9 to 5 job. That's why I was calling the brokerage account. I was like, or the bank. I was like, are you sure this is really happening? And they're like, yeah, this is what stock market investing is. So yeah, this benefits me now and it benefits me in the future. The problem with most people is they think too much in the now. There's no discipline whatsoever in their spending, and they don't understand how to invest. So like, why would anybody invest in the stock market if they don't see the instant gratification from it, the here and now, where they can just go and buy some booze, get drunk or whatever, like now, and enjoy, celebrate, and entertainment now. You can do all that, but like, pay yourself first with stock market investing. Alex, I'm reading your comment. I'm sure this will be here in the future. It's an investment. It takes long, but once you get smarter, it all makes sense. It all adds up over time. Perfectly said. That's what it is. That's what it's about. It has to make sense for you. If this doesn't make sense, then don't like do it. But for me, it made perfect sense. If I give you money, I want money in return. I expect that my principal will be repaid in full and that it will appreciate. Like homes appreciate, cars depreciate. Try to avoid buying things that just don't put money back in your bank account, like that like a rent check that pays you money every month. Focus like right there, that sweet spot, and that's what like really gets you. Just multiple income streams is like the way to go. It can be daunting trying to manage all this. What I do is I have a Google Excel spreadsheet, and what I do is I keep track of all the investments that I have. One side is income, all the affiliate marketing things I do, all of the income I get from bonds, stock market, my job. I put all that in the left-hand column, and on the right-hand column is the expenses. And then I just keep track of all my expenses. Yeah. So, let's see here. So patience. Let's talk about patience real quick with Brittany. So I struggle with patience all the darn time. I am like the least patient person you'll find, but I want to say that the Marine Corps taught me how to be really patient. I had to sit there, I had to do things I really didn't like want to do, but it just taught me so much to be patient. And it never ends though. Even when I got out, I did the 4-year degree at the university, and that taught me to stick with it. You gotta stick with things, and you gotta believe, like faith, whatever it is your thing, like spirituality, you gotta believe that it's gonna work, and it will. People perceive things to be good, the economy's good, the buying power increases, like good vibes type of thing. And so patience is one of those things you gotta work on. Like, I'm not always patient. I want things right now. I'm not perfect. Like, I got problems, and but it's really important to practice it, And patience, I'll tell you what, the best reward that you're gonna get from patience is the stock market, because you watch your portfolio grow. How good would that feel if you woke up, like 1 year later and your account grew like 5,000? And you're like, damn right, hell yeah. That's because I contributed $20 every single month to these, and I bought all these stocks, and it grows, and you're like, hell yeah. That gets me pumped up. And then your patience with like, I got it now. I get the game. The game is to be patient. That's what it's about. And the problem again is a lot of people, they don't want to be patient. And you can still spend like whatever you want. Just make sure you pay yourself first by investing. Please pay yourself first by investing. That's like the most important thing to your financial freedom, whatever you want to call it. Independence, financial independence, rich, wealthy, whatever you want to call it. You gotta be patient and continuously look for all these different investments. There's so many out there, it's ridiculous. I've dabbled in real estate. You can buy real estate and stocks. You can buy people who are buying these $1 million project homes, and they're letting you get a piece of that action through a stock. There's one called is it ARLP? That's the stock ticker symbol. I think that's one of them. But they're called REITs, Real Estate Investment Trusts. Don't let this terminology scare you or anything like that. It doesn't scare me. Even though I'm a business degree type of person, it doesn't scare me anyway. You got to learn. You got to be willing to learn. But you don't have to be like super aggressive, like, oh, I'm going to be on it every single day. Just know that anything can be learned. Don't let it scare you. What they do is, I think the industry makes it where you get confused and you think you need to have a master's degree to learn it. It's not true. Anything in all this, they didn't teach me this in school. Like, I learned it all on my own. School did help though, but it definitely can learn it all on your own. Let's see here. Let me read some more of these comments. I was the same way. Even with my business slow, but it's important to add value. But yeah, so if we can talk about business for a second, and sorry if I'm like feeding off your comments. Sometimes I run out of things to talk about. Again, this is my first Facebook Live thing, but like I have a lot of experience in businesses. So when I manage all my businesses, I use Excel spreadsheets, and I keep track of all the income and I keep track of all the expenses. So I list all my different business ventures that I go on and I experiment with. One of them is websites. I built my own website. I use a platform called WordPress, and WordPress allows me to publish blog posts, and I get advertising revenue on there. I can sell other people's products, and I can make money from there. All different types of revenue income streams. Do I recommend that you go and start blogging and starting a business? Yeah. I mean, it's such a foundation. I know we're all scared to like put our word out there and get like face to face with people and start putting out content. Is kind of scary, but I don't think you should be scared. Life's too short. Don't be afraid, and overcome your fears. But putting yourself out there, I think, is where the money's at. I think those who are afraid to get out there and start taking action and like starting blogs or investing, I think a lot of fear holds people back. It paralyzes them. And you just don't be afraid. One of the things I'm really good at is I love to take action. When I started my website, how about this? When I was in the Marine Corps, I called my dad up on the phone one time and I asked him. I said, "Dad, I really want to start a business and I don't know where to start." Most of us think franchises. Most of us think, I don't know, vending machines. That's what I thought about. And then my dad said, "You know what, Carl? You know what I think you should do? I think you should start a website, because if you start a website and you fail, just build another website. They're like $10 to start," and that's what it was. I'm still only paying like $10 a month just to have a host and a domain name. It's like $10 a month, and it's a branding thing. I have it where it's called wolfofficial.com, and I just write tons of blog posts, and I see what people like and what they don't like. I can see their analytics, and I think it's a great place to start. See, the problem is with these other platforms like WordPress, like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, is you're on their website. You need to drive traffic to yourname.com. And that's where all the value is going to be, because now you control it. You control all the things that are going on. And it's so much, and then you build it. Like I think Alex was saying, like, yeah, you build the brand. The brand is really, really super duper important. And then I see here, add value. Yeah. And it's always slow. Like, this stuff never happens overnight. It never happens overnight. But if you're persistent and you stick with it, it pays off. That goes along with your patience question, Brittany. You gotta be super patient. Like, was there times when I wanted to just cancel my website? Yeah. Like, did I think anybody was gonna look at it? No. Only people in my family. And then finally one day when I got it as big as it is now, I have this live chat thing where people go to my website and they can live chat with me as soon as they get on there. Like, it's just like a plug-in that I added. And you know what happened one day while I was at work? I actually was just working, right? And then I got an instant notification on my phone, and it was somebody who was sending me a message through the live chat feature on my website. And it was a real person. I have no idea who it was. It was a fan. The person said, hey, I love what you're doing, Carl. I'm a huge fan. When are you coming out with your next song? Dude, I was just blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, there is a God, or something like that. And I just freaked out. But it's just so rewarding when you focus on the person, the customer, the client, the fan, the other person on the other end. And that, like, really, it just helped me out so much. And when I got that instant notification from that person who was a fan, like, I had no idea who this person was, but they're, like, sending good vibes. And you know what I did after that? I have, like, 4 songs I'm ready to release this fall 2016, because I know what they want. I know what this person wants, male or female, whatever. I know what they want now, and I'm, like, super stoked about it. And that's the value of being patient and starting, like, a website, for example, and letting it grow, getting it to where you want it, and then finally the people start coming. I don't know if what's that saying? Build it and they will come. I think that's pretty true. Yeah, let's see here. I'm looking through the comments again. Here I go. So, being afraid, I want to talk about that. And yeah, you're right, Alex, like doing things that you've never done before. That's so true. Can I be honest with you? I'm actually really afraid of performing live in front of people. I have a lot of anxiety, but it's something I'm going to have to overcome if I want to get my music career to the next level. A lot of people have a head start on me, but I don't really compare myself to other people. You can't. You got to focus on yourself sometimes, and you got to overcome your fears. It's scary. People scare me. A lot of things go through my head when I'm on stage, and like, what are they thinking? And it just scares the living hell out of me. But can't be afraid. You absolutely can't be afraid. You know, I know you go to school, Alex, and I know I've seen you there at the university. And just think about it, like all those times that you didn't think that you could make it through college. Like you thought it was super duper hard, but that was fear, right? Like that was you're being afraid. Not that like actually happened to you, but when it happened to me, being afraid is not. There's no option. You cannot be afraid. You have to get it done. You gotta, what they call it, man up, or I don't know. I don't like to be like sexist, but like it. You gotta saddle up. You have to do it. You just have to do it. And once you tell yourself you have to do it, the afraid thing goes away. Focus, focus, focus. And don't be afraid anymore. That's one of the things I'm working on too. It never ends. Everything is learned. It's a skill. Just like investing and investing properly, it's all a skill. You just keep learning, keep practicing and stuff like that. And it gets easier. It gets so much easier. So perhaps the first thing you can do before you jump in and you start like setting up a stock market brokerage account, I think you should try that Acorns application, Acorns, Acorns, because it'll give you an idea and make you feel proud that like you're investing and stuff like that. And it's super easy once you get over the paperwork where you submit your account info. Yeah, they have you submit a checking account. What it is they link the bank accounts, and it can be very scary sometimes, but the important thing to remember is, what else do you got? I mean, yeah, you can protect your privacy, but what do you have? Sometimes in life you got to take a risk, you got to take a chance, and you have to trust other people. You have to. It's so scary. I'm the worst. I come from a divorced family. I don't have a lot of trust in people, but it's something, and this is what I'm afraid of, but I keep working on it, and I try to trust people, and it's getting me somewhere. I can tell that the more I trust people, the more I grow as a person, and the more my businesses grow, the more my investments grow, and I learn to trust in other people. I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. I used to be there like a lone wolf, but you can't. You gotta like rely on people sometimes, but also rely on yourself. It's kind of like a balance, a balancing act. I cannot believe I have like the right people here in this Facebook Live thing. I got Monty, Ansel, all of you I talked to in person, and even Jordan, I don't want to forget you. You know, when we talked in person, like about investing, I think I showed both of you a little bit. I know I showed Monty like all out. I showed him how to invest with dividend.com, and I showed him how to use schwab.com as the brokerage account. And then Ansel, you had to go to class, but I know that we talked about that too. I know, and I know if we had more time, I could just lay it all on you and show you exactly step by step. The problem that we ran, the problem that we came across, Ansel, when we were in the computer lab, and I was trying to show you the investing, right, is it's like a behind the scenes thing. I still have uncomfortable issues showing people my personal bank account, as you probably would too. So that's kind of a barrier that I'm working on. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to like tell you, okay, go to dividend.com, okay, open a brokerage account with Schwab. And then once you're there, I can tell you how to invest the right stocks. So from where we were last time, Ansel and Monty, again, like profits are good. Profits are really good. The account is still growing. Nothing to lose. The only thing I can say to add on to like more of the knowledge that you already have about this is where I'm at right now is I'm looking at stocks that aren't listed. on dividend.com. I'm looking at stocks that are very, how do you say, recession proof, Great Depression proof, and whatever crises people are coming up with, like the ultimate collapse is, economic collapse is coming. You know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find something. I always keep it simple. I'm going to find stocks that are here to stay. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find stocks that are going to last. So you know as well as I do roughly what stocks are going to last. Food, people need food, so that might be like a good area to start looking for stocks, right? Let's see here. You could probably think of like hundreds and more. Maybe clothing, maybe not so much, but maybe oil. What? And I'm just scratching the surface here, but just, use your imagination, because I'm right there with you in the same boat. I'm thinking like, okay, what's something that's going to last? And you can invest in corn and cattle and sheep. Like there's like there's so many stocks. I don't know how many stocks are in the stock market, but I'm sure they're popping up every single day. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I'm a little bit more advanced than I was a year or two ago. So I'm definitely like keeping a lot of, I still have all the stocks that I've always had. I'm not selling any of them. I don't plan to, because they're making me money. And it's great. It's a great source of income. So since we talked about dividends, I want to talk to you now about another website. I think we listed a whole bunch of them, but I want to talk to you about another website. It's called lendingclub.com. Okay? This is one of the many peer-to-peer lending sites that allow people like you and me to loan each other money, and we get money back in the form of interest and monthly payments as these borrowers start paying us money. Is it ethical? Sure, we all need money, right? What people are going to do with the money, that's their business. There's always ethical things that you want to think about, but when you're on these sites like Lending Club, and it's spelled Lending club.com, and when you go there, look around the main homepage, and you will see like, okay, you want to sign up as an investor, not a borrower. Investor account. Once you're there, you will browse the loans that are available, and then when you find the loan that looks grade A, right, because they rank them grade A, B, C, D, buy the ones that are grade A just to start, so you get the warm and fuzzy. You'll start seeing that after you purchase not the stock, but the loan, you're purchasing a loan for someone who needs the money. They're going to start paying you starting next month their first payment. Doesn't that sound awesome? That's the simplicity of dividend investing, lending people money, and any other kind of investment that you would hope to find in the rest of your life. You'll always be wanting to look at, okay, what am I getting in return? But not so much like egotistical like that, but like, what's the return? What am I going to count on every month? So Lending Club is like, these are all great starters. I think I started with Lending Club and before dividend investing, because I was like, gosh, there's got to be another way. Why am I working so hard? There's got to be another way. And it's either patience or instant gratification. And when you choose patience, it's just so much better. You start building this portfolio of loans that you're selling to people, and then they're paying you interest, and then it starts growing. You buy more loans, and these loans are like for 2 years straight. And what happens is that account just starts growing and stuff like that. So another thing is Bitcoin. I don't know how skeptic you are, but if anybody's skeptic, it's me. I actually do not like investing in things that I don't understand, but after some research, I did the same thing with Lending Club as I did with Bitcoin. What I did was I took the same concept of loaning people money and I applied it to Bitcoin. So what I did was I researched all sites that I could loan people money in Bitcoins now. We're talking about a different currency. So one of the sites that I think you should look into is bitbond.com, bitbond.com, and that will show you all the same things as Lending Club, where you can browse the different Bitcoin loans, and you can loan people out Bitcoins. And I'm going to blow your mind here real quick. You know how most people are getting like 30%, or excuse me, I just gave it away. Bitbon loans people at 30% internationally. Can you tell me where you're going to get that? Yeah, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it either. I'm like, and I haven't invested. I think I only have like $100 in Bitbon right now, but I'm gonna grow that because what do I have to lose? I'm getting 33% on it, and it's so important. People love it when you give them money. People always need help. So I don't know how many different investments we talked about in this live broadcast, but we talked about Acorns app, we talked about stock market investing, we talked about Lending Club, and we talked about Bitbon. And those are all the ones you can count on. I'm going to be doing it for a while, and if they tank, I'm going to keep looking for more. That's just the importance of staying hungry and looking for different investments. Yeah, sounds good to me. What I want to do then is leave it open to you. If you have any questions, real quick, just throw them up there in the box, and I'll answer all the questions. And then after that, I'm probably just going to cut it loose. I want to go and spend this Friday night doing something. So just let me know. Put your question in the bottom, and I'll answer it. Until then, I'll just ramble real quick for like a minute, and if there's no questions, then I'll probably just hang up the phone. But, so yeah, what else is there? I recommend real estate. Real estate is one of those things. It's another safe harbor. Millionaires don't really put their money in just like the stock market and stuff, because they hide it in things like that appreciate, like gold. They hide it in things you wouldn't even recognize, and they put it in real estate. Real estate is one of those things where it doesn't look like much, but it grows. And I don't think you should ever sell your house if you have one right now. I wouldn't sell it. Make sure you pay it off. Get renters in there if you can, but don't sell it. Build up a whole bunch of portfolio of houses. And we're like all broke college students, right? Like, until we graduate, are we going to be actually making like a lot more money to where we can buy a house? Which I think you should do your best to purchase it in cash. I know it sounds a lot, but maybe you don't want to buy a $300 or $300,000 house. Maybe you should buy like a $60,000 house, rent it out to people who need it. You know, that might be a better idea. I think getting into debt is not a good thing. When we talk about investing in here, I don't promote going into debt for things. I really don't. Leverage is one of those things that, yeah, it's great. You need cash and stuff like that, but like, I don't think you should go in debt too far. Once you start doing that, you start playing like interest rate games, and like, you don't want to do that. But yeah. All right, I don't think we have any more questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up. Nah, I really appreciate it, everybody. This is my first Facebook Live feed, and like, this is really fun. I hope you start doing it too. It's like, it's super scary, but once I started seeing people like comment and stuff like that, it was pretty cool. I didn't realize who my market was until like people on my Facebook feed started like saying this is cool, and like, that means a lot to me. So I encourage you to do it too. And don't discount yourself if you feel like you don't know something to like an extreme degree of knowledge. Don't be afraid. There's people who don't know things that you don't know. Or, yeah, if I said that right. People don't know as much as you know. There's things that you know that I don't know. So don't discount yourself. Putting yourself out there, think about something you do know that you might be good at, and do a live feed. And actually, I would see where that goes. And I'm actually, after this, I'm going to see if I can save this video and upload it somewhere else, because this is like super duper cool, and I think it's great marketing. I think it's like good stuff, and it helps you focus on the people, the customers, and stuff like that, and see where it goes. All right, everyone, you are awesome, and this has been very personable indeed, so thank you for tuning in. Of all the people in the world, you're tuning into me, so hey, thank you so much. I'll see you on the next live Facebook feed. All right, have a good night.